All right, hello honors students. Okay, so you are on part 3 of your project at this point. I'm going to explain it and then you guys will have a brief quiz just to make sure that you understand all the requirements for this part of the project. This part of the project is really lengthy. It's the most lengthy part that you will explore. So at this point in time, what you've done is you've picked 3 poems from your poet and you've scanned them or analyzed them. What you're going to do in this document is take the information from your 3 poems and actually apply it to the document. So in each of these categories, you can write the name of the first poem you've selected, the name of the second poem you've selected, and the name of the third poem you've selected. You're going to, in the boxes, explain the meaning of the poem, of each poem you've chosen. You're going to write down all the similes and metaphors found in each of your poems. So in poem 1, did you find similes and metaphors? In poem 2, same question. Poem 3, same question, and you are going to write them out. Were there examples of personification? Alliteration? Explain the mood of the poem. Then you're going to dig a little deeper in which words show this mood. If you say your poem is sad, which words purvey that sadness? Are there examples of tactile imagery, visual imagery, auditory imagery, gustatory imagery? You may have all of these, you may have very few, just depending on the poet you've selected. Are there examples of olfactory imagery? Is there rhyme? Is there a pattern of a rhyme scheme? So if you have rhyme, you generally have a rhyme scheme. If you don't have rhyme, you have a rhyme scheme. You need to make these connections. Does the poet use a lot of repetition? If so, which phrases or lines are repeated? And finally, how many stanzas are in each poem? After you fill out this document, which you're going to take your 3 poems again to use in order to fill this out, I want you to make some connections. In a well-written essay, I want you to describe some connections you can make among the 3 poems. Your first paragraph, which will be longer than 1 paragraph, you'll see, is about craft and structure. What do your poems have in common? Share some of the devices that are used consistently in each of the poems. I would like you to include specific examples from the poems to support your response. I'm asking you to use 1 paragraph per device. So if you say this poet uses a lot of similes, that will be 1 paragraph in itself. If he or she also uses personification, move on to the next paragraph to explain the examples of personification. Therefore, this paragraph will be more than 1 paragraph, hence the 1+. Okay. Paragraph 2, craft and structure. How are the poems different? Explain. Are all 3 of your poems very, very vastly different and they don't have any similarities? Explain that. Paragraph 3 or so, making connections. Is the poet making any statement about his or her life in the poems? For example, if you're studying Langston Hughes, he tends to speak about equality. Is there a statement that your poet is making? Maya Angelou, etc. Think about your poet. Do the poems help the reader understand what was going on in the poet's life or the world around him or her? Include examples from the poem. So if you're going to say this poet is speaking on equality, give me the examples from each of the 3 poems that show this poet is really speaking for equality. And your final paragraph, again, making connections. What is your opinion of the poet's works? Which lines appealed to you? Could you make any personal connections to the poet? You'll find that some of the poets that you really enjoy to read, you can make personal connections to given your experiences in the poets. So I want you to explain why. Your goal is to write your essay below. Again, this is very time consuming. You're going to take the information from the research that you've done about your poems, the graphic organizer above, and then this graphic organizer here in terms of your structure of your writing. Write your essay below and then submit to me for some guidance. This is not your final grade for your project. This is just going to give you some formative feedback so that you can improve this prior to your final submission. As always, if you have questions, please let me know.